will this chart pattern succeed or fail? Hi, it's Charlie giving you your midweek update from me. So I don't know. I'm recording this actually on Monday, so you'll see in this chart as of Monday, sort of after lunchtime, afternoon time. So this is the dollar index. Now I've talked about this previously, and this sort of cup and handle pattern that we've got here for the dollar index. So it's sort of done pretty much what I was expecting it to do over this last week, or wanting it to do. Not quite actually, because it's not quite. I wanted it to pull back to its daily 50, my black moving average here. Didn't quite do it, but anyway, we'll forgive it for now for that. So this pattern, the big sort of cup and handle type pattern here, is it about to break up? We had the initial break, and that can happen. I think with classical patterns like these, you're going to have false breaks, even if it is going to go and then come back, and then it might still then off it goes. And bearing in mind, we've got those non-farm payrolls out this week. We've got the ADPs midweek as well. So got a bit of news coming this week, certainly into the latter part of the week. So it'll be interesting to see how the dollar gets on. So is it going to roar ahead, or is it going to fail? If I go to the weekly chart here, then you can sort of see what it's been trying to do. It's come up to the resistance point over here. It just breached it, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, then just pulled back. So is it going to come up and really break out of this whole sideways sort of price action here, if you want to call it that, or range, should I say, in the coming weeks? So one to watch out for there. And the alternative to that is to look at the euro dollar, which is obviously been doing the opposite in the main. So, and if we go to the weekly chart of the euro, then what's the pattern that we've got on the euro? Oh yes, we've got that head and shoulders pattern. So we've got these classical sort of technical patterns there. There's the neckline there. We have breached the neckline, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Or I say it doesn't mean anything. It does, but these patterns will still only work a certain amount of the time. So they're fantastic patterns to look back at, and when we look at them, from a textbook perspective, and look at ones that have worked, but there are plenty that just end up just fizzling out. So, but these are big patterns that we're seeing there on the dollar index, on the euro dollar there, with regards to that head and shoulders. So I think it's coming back to the dollar index. I think it's well worth your while keeping an eye on this dollar index over this next week, especially going into Friday with the jobs reports on Friday, because if by Friday we're right away back up here well into the 93s, then it will start looking like, yep, that was the pullback, and we're back up here attacking these highs again. Then likely the dollar goes a lot higher. And then if you really want to project it, just for the dollar itself, you can measure the bottom here, take it up to and this is a conservative projection, take those levels, that roughly, so around about, what's that, around about 90.25, I'm just eyeballing it here, to 90, let's call it 93. So if we're taking it around from there to there, actually make it easier on myself and say 93.25, so it's 300 pips. So 300 pips would be a projection target from that classical pattern there, taking it north. Interesting pattern, keep your eye on it. Oh, and what if it doesn't? What if it fails? Well, if it fails, it fails, and then we'll just start seeing the dollar retracing some more. So really at the moment, the pattern favours, even though it's done this pullback, favours it coming back up. But if it fails, then of course we're going to start seeing the dollar attacking these lows again in the coming week or couple of weeks, shall we say. So interesting chart patterns right now. Take care for now. I'll see you on Saturday for the next video.